All right, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can, configure multiple FortiAPs with same SSID for, seamless roaming within the office space and all that. If you've ever, moved around your office or home and your Wi-Fi keeps disconnecting or reconnecting, you need to be able to learn this and have multiple APs, same SSID, and users can easily navigate and work seamlessly with the same SSID without having to connect or disconnect. So in this setup, I have a FortiGate device, which will serve as a controller for the AP. I have a switch, is actually a simple network, and I have, multiple APs. The FortiAPs don't have to be the same model. They can be different models of FortiAP. So in this video, I have FortiAP FP431 and PU321. I'm going to show you. Then all connecting to the internet. The primary network here is 10.15.13.0 network, and I'm going to configure an SSID, which is fear not to be breached, to be in breach mode. That means that if your local users, which are connecting to the switch, they can connect to 10.15.13.0, and same network will also be applicable to users connecting wirelessly. So majorly, this is used for corporate users within the organizations. Then we have another network, which is 192.168.142.0 network. This will be configured on the FortiGate, which is acting as a controller, like a different network, and this will be a tunnel mode. So this particular network won't have to pass through the switch. Mostly, this is always being used for maybe guest users or for contractors. So these two SSIDs will be configured on the two APs so that users can roam and they can be able to have access and without having to disconnect and reconnect. So there will be seamless failover, when the user move to the nearest FortiAP. So let's get started. Let's log into FortiGate. So on the FortiGate, these are FortiGate device. And on the FortiGate, the first thing we want to look at is the interface. So on the interface, we have 10.15.13.1, which is our LAN interface. So what we want to do here is to ensure that security fabric is enabled. We've plugged the FortiAPs to the switch. So the way the APs can be discovered is through the security fabric connection, which has to be, toggled on. So toggle this on, I'll click OK. So once that is done, we'll go straight to the Wi-Fi controller. If you can't see this Wi-Fi controller, just go to System, then go to Feature Visibility. Under Feature Visibility, you see, so you toggle this Wi-Fi controller on and this feature will pop up. So once this is turned on, let's go to our managed AP. So our managed AP, since we have the two APs plugged and we have the security fabric connection toggled on, the APs will definitely receive DCP IP address. You need to ensure that this DCP is also enabled on your port 1. DSP server is enabled, or you can also, if in case you have any DSP server in your environment that give the same IP address. So far this is toggled on, we would have the APs enabled. So now we have the APs. So on this we have two APs on already. And the next thing you want to do is to go to Wi-Fi setting. This is very important. We need to ensure that the APs the FortiAP you get match the country you are. So there are different codes for different region. For the region I am is code E and all that. So I have to set the region at which these APs belong to so that they can function well. So now we have the two APs, configured, the two APs onboarded already. So the first thing we want to do is to, let's try and create the two SSIDs. So the first SSID we'll create is to bridge it to the already existing network, which is 10.15.13.0 network. So let's create one, which is Fear Not. So let's name it Fear Not. Then bridge mode, Fear Not. So Fear Not. Then on this we'll use the normal WAP2 personal. Then okay, we leave others fast BBS transition. Let's enable that and these as well. Then click OK. So we've created the first SSID, which is Fear Not. Then let's create the second one and give it a tunnel, make it a tunnel better. Then 192.168.142.1/24. Then this is a tunnel mode. So it's in a tunnel mode. And this will also enable the SCP server. This is mostly used for guest access because this is a network that is configured on the FortiGate itself, which is the controller, and which is different from the one created on being used from the switch, which is the bridge mode. So we'll continue. We'll leave it as this. Okay, and let's give it a name. Is getting better. Then we also leave it as our WAP2. Okay. Then we also ensure we have this, right? Now we have two SSIDs created already. One is getting better, and the other is Fear Not, which is our SSID. Then the next thing is to go to manage FortiAP profile. So under manage profile, because we have two different models of FortiAP, and that's why we're having the two different manage profile. And this is the manage profile we are going to use to configure and add those SSIDs so that it can be able to transmit and appear as one SSID across the FortiAP. So on the first one, which is FP4312, then what we want to do is just to ensure that we enable the radio channels and also ensure that we add the SSIDs to the APA. Then from here we would have enable the band. We also want to ensure all the 2.4 gigahertz bands is enabled. Then transmit mode 100%. Then SSID. So under SSID, I will select manual. So on this manual, I will add all the SSIDs I want to ensure the AP is transmitting, just to be able to transmit all those SSID on 2.4 gigahertz. Also enabled the 5.0 gigahertz and ensure the radio band are also included. Then we have the transmit power mode 100 SSID. You also select manual. So select all the APs you want, all the SSIDs you want. Then you click OK. So for this as well, would also do the same. It's been authorized. Then 2.4 gigahertz. Let's add other band. 100 SSID manual. Let's add other band. Then 5 gigahertz 100 manual. What this means is that the two APs will be able to transmit both the breached SSID and the tunnel SSID that were created, so that when a corporate user, which is meant to access the breached network, comes, it can be able to do so on all the on all the SSIDs, on all the FortiAPs. And when you have a guest that needs to access maybe internet and all that on a separate network, the APs are capable of transmitting that as well. So the next thing we want to do is to create a firewall policy for that. So for our firewall policy, we have an existing firewall policy for the local network, which is 10.15.13.1. So this port 1 to internet already, addresses the breach SSID, because the breach SSID is also matched with this network. So this firewall policy will be able to, address that. So we have from port 1, which is the local interface to the internet, sources all, destination all, services all, NATs, and you can also apply your security profiles to this. Then click OK. Then for the second one, which is getting better, the interface, you can select the interface of the SSID, because it's a tunnel mode. It's 192.168.142.1. Then outgoing interface will be the internet. Okay. Source will be all. Destination will be all. Then we have, okay, services all. Okay. So now, as soon as this is done, what we'll notice is when it comes to security profile, so we can see we have more users. We have users, you know, we have users on both APs now, more users on FP1, because this particular AP is downstairs, while this is upstairs where I'm working. And you can see I have a user, one of the devices connected here. So now we can see we have more users on both SSID is getting better, and fear not. And these users can roam and also use this SSIDs wherever the APs are, without having to disconnect and reconnect back to the network. So you can also go to Security Fabric and look at the physical topology. This is how the connection works from from FortiGate connecting to the internet and having two APs, and each AP has devices connected to them as well. Then we also have logical topology. So you also see how the connection works in a logical manner. Devices connected logically to the APs and also to the network. So this revealed how you can configure multiple access points, also using uniform SSIDs across those APs, so that you can serve your users better without any form of failure. Thank you.